welcome to today's episode of the Beauty Industry Podcast, your online support community for the professional beauty industry, connecting you with educational pieces, innovative industry products, and inspiration from industry experts. I am your host, founding director of Beauty Industry, Tamara Shaw. Today we are diving into the world of blogging and vlogging with our guest, Maddie Edwards. Madeleine is a Melbourne-based YouTube and Instagram superstar for the makeup and beauty industry with over 40,000 followers across YouTube and Instagram. Madeleine's top viewing video, her 2017 skincare routine, has had over 122,000 plays, and if that figure doesn't blow your mind, the next one will. Madeleine is just 24 years old. Along with being sponsored by Subo Studio Skin Clinic and being taken on as talent by May Media Management, Madeleine's pictures have been reposted by the likes of Benefit Australia and Colourpop Cosmetics. Maddie was hand-chosen to feature on today's podcast as she is a professional beauty therapist herself, has shared her truth in dealing with acne and eczema, and in my opinion is one of the most transparent influencers I've seen on my screen to date. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome to the podcast today, Maddie Edwards. Thank you so much for coming on board and joining us today, Maddie.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
My pleasure. So when did the world of YouTube all start for you?
Well, I've obviously always loved beauty. I actually studied that in 2014, but it was never really makeup that I fell in love with. It was, I really liked the skin side of things, to be honest. I did like makeup, but it wasn't I wasn't good at it, so I didn't like it. Like, my mum used to do my makeup all the way through. Like, if I ever had a party in high school or something, mum would do my makeup. And then makeup was like a small segment in the, when I did go to beauty school, we did touch on that. And that's where I kind of fell in love with it. And my best friend at the time also had a beauty YouTube channel. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like, I love sharing what I know and talking to people like through comments and stuff like that. And I love makeup. So yeah, I just started that, and it started off very slowly, and I'm still not as consistent as I'd love to be. But yeah, that's how it all started, really.
Yeah. Did it take a lot of courage for you? I know when I do like an Instagram live or a Facebook live, I am freaking out beforehand. Did it take a lot of courage for you to film something and upload it and be comfortable with that? Actually,
no. Like, something like this is much more daunting for me because it is kind of more live. Whereas YouTube, even Instagram videos, you can kind of chop and change them. And if you don't like a part, you're just like, okay, I'll get rid of that. You're putting like your best foot forward, really. But definitely, like, with an Insta live, if I do that, it's very nerve-wracking because if you make mistakes, people are going to see it live. So
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really have any problem. I think by the time that I started my YouTube channel, I had a really good support network of friends and family. So I really wasn't very nervous, which is good because I know that's something that a lot of people do have to deal with, the nerves.
Yeah. How was your, you said your family and your support network was really supportive. I think if I told my parents at the age of 22, 23 that 144 people were looking at any one video of mine, they would have freaked out. How was your family reacting to you being so public out there?
They didn't really mind, to be honest. I don't think they really understood. They were just kind of like, oh yeah, that's good. And then you know, now on my YouTube channel, I think I have around 28,000 subscribers, which is insane to me. Like, that's so crazy. It's been a real slow burner, but it's definitely growing. So now obviously I'm starting to do paid collaborations and stuff like that. And it's actually becoming, a new stream of income for me and actual work. So now both of my parents are like, oh my God, this is weird. Like, we didn't really ever think this would happen.
It's a job.
Yeah.
When did you realize that your videos and your Instagram has started gaining traction?
the algorithms are so different. So for YouTube, you know, you can put up a video and then even a year later, Instagram can still recommend it to people. It can be in their sidebar of recommended to watch. So YouTube videos are always getting traction. You know, like I think my most viewed video is a video that I posted just about a year ago now. And like, to be honest, when I first posted it for the first like 6 months, it was just like going regularly like a normal video. And then all of a sudden traction picked up, and it's got like nearly 200,000 views now, which is so crazy to me. And it just keeps getting views, and I keep getting comments on it. And I'm like, what the heck? How are you even seeing this? So yeah, I think YouTube, it's just time and consistency. There was no kind of real pivotal moment. But for Instagram, probably when I started to share more of my skin issues, to be honest. I started to share my battle with acne and eczema, and I think a lot of people relate to that. So that definitely, brought on a whole new wave of followers, which is really nice.
Yeah. And from the looks of things, your channel is very natural. I mean, in comparison to a lot of YouTubers and Instagram influencers out there, which, you know, is very posed and fake and kind of unrealistic. So you like to, you know, have a real laugh at yourself and kind of show your good days and your bad days. Did you always intend for your channel to be viewed this way?
I think that, like you said, I think it's just true to me. I really do want that relatability. I feel like my followers and subscribers are my friends, and I love when we can all chat in the comments section. And, you know, I just have such a nice support network. I'm really lucky where I don't really get any hate or negativity or anything. So yeah, I guess I just feel like I can be myself, which is really nice. I don't ever feel like I have to post what, you know, people want me to post, because I'm kind of like, there's a corner on YouTube for everybody. So, you know, you can just be yourself, and, you know, if people like you, they like you, and if they don't, then don't subscribe to me. That's fine.
Yeah, I love that. And you're super kind of transparent, and we'll definitely link all of your pages when we pop this onto our Instagram and Facebook, and you can see that you've got these photos where you are, you know, no makeup, hormonal breakouts at the moment. And, you know, has it always been something that you wanted to discuss, or did you just, you know, you may have removed your makeup one day after a YouTube video and go, that's it, I'm going to talk about it because this is really peeing me off?
Yeah, that's right, actually. I guess I felt responsible because the kind of acne that I have, it's actually quite easy to cover. So when I have makeup on, especially on camera, you can't actually really see that I've got blemishes under there. And I don't want people to think that, you know, skin goals, blah, 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 because it's so not that. And I really just want people to see, you know, I don't wear makeup every day either. So I want people to see who I really am. I don't want every photo on my Instagram to look like I've got this perfect skin, because I definitely don't. And I'll admit that in some makeup photos, if I'm using a brand where I want them to repost me, I will sometimes smooth away my blemishes with like Facetune or something, because unfortunately I know that if I have blemishes, I'm not going to get reposted, which sucks. But that's
interesting.
That's the industry that we're in. I think can be quite shallow sometimes, and at the end of the day, they're trying to sell something, so they don't want, you know, it to look like I've got bad skin. So I guess I felt responsible to be like, yeah, okay, sometimes I might have to blow my blemishes away, but it's not because I'm trying to fool you guys. It's because I'm trying to, you know, network. But this is what I really look like underneath all of the makeup and the Facetune.
And I love how honest you are as well. You always, you know, come on, I love your lives and your stories, and you're like, look at my skin today, I don't know what's happening. I tried to film something for YouTube and I just feel crap about it. You know, you're really honest, and I love that.
It's actually quite empowering, because, you know, you're showing something, you feel so vulnerable, and people could tear you down, or they could relate to you and be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, like I really needed this today. And it's weird that me showing my vulnerabilities and, you know, the side of myself that I'm not completely comfortable with can help other people feel more comfortable. So yeah, it's really empowering, which is cool.
Amazing. I know, obviously I run the beauty industry, Instagram and Facebook, and there's a lot of pressure for me as a business owner to keep my content fresh and to be posting every day or, every week. There must be a lot more pressure for you to be posting frequently and to have fresh content.
Oh, I don't think a lot more pressure. I think anyone who's kind of pursuing any kind of online business or podcast, whatever platform it's on, consistency is such a big thing, isn't it? Like it's people lose interest quickly. You've got to be fresh, and with it, it's there is pressure, but I just kind of think if it's got to be genuine at the same time, especially for I think something that's on YouTube and Insta. If I don't feel like posting it, then I don't want to post it because it's not going to be genuine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, which it's still definitely hard because I want to be consistent, but sometimes life takes over a little bit. Especially, you would know, you've got other outlets and businesses going on at once, so it's hard to kind of channel all your energy into one thing, but definitely a work in progress, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Even on my own Instagram page, not beauty industry, but just my personal one, I was looking at that this morning after I was stalking yours, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted since 2 weeks ago. And then I thought, Tamara, you've just moved states, you've gone on holiday, you've got engaged, like relax, it's fine, you can have 2 weeks off.
Exactly.
No one's going to yell at you,
exactly,
but there is a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Yeah, you almost feel guilty if you don't post, and I don't feel guilty for people because I don't think anyone really misses me when I'm on Instagram. But I do notice, like, if I've had a bit of like a hiatus and then I come back to Instagram or YouTube, my videos or posts just don't get as much traction, like, because people are like, oh, I've kind of lost interest. But then if you post, a few pics in, like a pic every day for a week, it just kind of keeps on building, and people really like it and they feel like they're your friends. They know what's going on in your life. So yeah, it's definitely consistency is key if you want to build a community, I think.
That's really nice. And so in your role being a YouTuber and an Instagram influencer, you are trying lots of different products and skin products and makeup and things like that. Do you ever find that can kind of disrupt your barrier, or it can give you a little bit of inflammation or anything? So all of these different ingredients?
Yes, I'm really, really careful. Not with the makeup, like makeup's fine, but definitely skincare. I'm super careful what like collaborations I say yes and no to. I know my skin pretty well, like it is unpredictable, but I do know that it does get kind of sensitized easily just because of the eczema. But then I do try anti-acne products and ingredients, and it can be good for one part of my skin and not for the other. So I do have to be really careful, and it is quite hard sometimes because some brands that are just starting, they look like they've got really good ingredients in them, and then they send them out for you to try, and you have like a trial period before you actually say yes and commit to the collaboration. And it's hard. I've had to say no a few times because just after trying them, it's just not good for my skin.
Right.
So yeah, it does disrupt it a little bit, and it's hard because it's almost counterproductive. But yeah, I'm just careful.
When you first started getting partnerships and becoming an influencer for certain brands, I can imagine that would have been super exciting for you. And you just wanted to say yes to everything and try everything. What permits whether you say yes or no nowadays, that you've got a little bit more control?
I stay loyal to the brands that I currently love. Like I love Tribe Skincare because for my skin, that is just absolutely perfect. It's like natural ingredients, and it doesn't irritate me. It's like that's like my baseline. So I will always use their cleanser and moisturizer. But then, you know, there's different serums and stuff. So if a brand says, oh, we've got this serum that I want to use, if I don't already have that in my skincare routine, or I do have one and I'm not completely happy with it, then I'll say yes and I'll try it out. But seriously, mainly ingredients is something that I will say no to. Like if it's got nasty ingredients, I'll just, you know, say no. Like I don't want to do that because firstly, I wouldn't put that on my skin anyway. I've got a beauty background. Like I can tell if a product isn't going to be great. And secondly, I don't want to promote something that I know other people might buy and, you know, it doesn't have my tick of approval on it, you know?
Yeah. And I guess that's what I love about you in terms of being an influencer on Instagram, because you do have the skin and you're a beauty therapist background. What probably irritates me the most, and probably has the same feeling on you, is people who aren't from the industry. And, you know, with respect, they've probably educated themselves to a degree. But it frustrates me to see people who have no idea talking about skin, recommending ingredients or recommending even supplements, you know, now we're going into. Does that irritate you?
It doesn't really irritate me. It just makes me nervous for the consumer, I guess. Like, because makeup artists aren't necessarily beauty therapists, and a beauty guru, which is what they call them on YouTube and Insta, isn't a beauty therapist either. Like you said, they might educate themselves, which is great, but a lot of them don't, which isn't bad, but it's kind of just like stay in your lane then. Because you don't want to some of the stuff you see some people promoting, and, you know, consumers and their viewers are like, oh my God, yes, that's awesome, I'm going to try it. And it's like, no, that's not a good product.
Step away from the counter.
Oh my gosh, like it's actually really interesting for me as well, because obviously I do post those no makeup pictures when I've got acne all over my face. The amount of like unsolicited skincare advice I get where I'm like, no, I am not going to do that. Like that is not good advice. It's a crazy platform for people, you know, giving out advice and experiences that they're not really that knowledgeable about. Interesting.
For sure. You spoke about Tribe Skincare before, and on episode 25 of ours, we spoke with Kayla from Tribe, and she mentioned that you were an influencer of hers and a brand partner. Do you have any advice for businesses who might wanting to connect with Instagram influencers or bloggers or vloggers, and they just don't even know where to start? Like, how does somebody contact you and say, I want to use you in my next campaign, for example?
So obviously, first of all, I think you really have to believe in your product. Like, that's what I love so much about Kayla. She is so knowledgeable and just, she really, really cares. She would never, ever put anything in her products that she wouldn't put on herself. So I think that's a big one. Like, actually really believe in your product and like it. And then secondly, like when it comes to approaching influencers, I think a big one is make sure it's in line with the influencers, Instagram and YouTube content. You don't, like, sometimes I'll get some people saying, hey, we're doing like meal prep stuff. Like, do you want to put this on your channel? I'm like, oh, it's not really in line with what I post. No. So I think approach the influencer with that in mind. And also my biggest pet hate, and I'm sure like even every influencer hates this, everyone hates this in general, it's nice if you're approaching an influencer to say their name. You often get the generic, hi dear, we're looking for collaborators, do this. Like, make it personal, make the influencer feel like you actually want them. I think that's a big one. But they're the main things that I can really think of.
Yeah, cool. And so for anyone who's listening, be that a business owner or a product house or somebody who wants to just grow their personal page or even start a blog or a vlog, what can people do to gain traction on Instagram?
Well, I think like having one or two platforms is key. Like, I've seen, I think this is what Kayla with Tribe did. She started her business, and then on Facebook there's this I forgot what the group is called, but it's all like women who have small businesses.
Like-minded bitches drinking wine.
That which is really, really cool, because they all have each other to, share their experiences with and their milestones. And hey, ladies, I'm just starting a new brand. Which logo looks the best? And they'll put a few up and everybody will kind of choose. And then so that's good because you'll have the support from them and you can be like, hey, I've just started this Instagram. Like, can you guys follow it? And they're actually very helpful. They, word of mouth is such a huge thing. Like, if somebody tags their friends in a photo, like they might be like, oh yeah, this looks good to me, I'll follow. So I think starting off with like another platform to kind of move people over, crowd control a little bit towards your Instagram page is big. And then once you've got that first 1,000, it's like a domino effect. I think it just grows a lot faster. But at the same time, it can be like a real roller coaster. Like even for me, 1 month I'll literally lose 200 followers and then the next month I'll gain 500. So it fluctuates so much. Instagram's so difficult to grow on. But you can promote posts as well, which a lot of businesses do, where you pay to have your posts show up in people's feeds who don't even follow you. So that's good as well. But yeah, I think just the whole get a small group first and then get them to tag people, and I think that helps.
Are you sometimes shocked by you might have done a really staged photo with a full face of heavy makeup and you post it and you expect it to go bananas, and then you do like a little quick selfie in the bathroom when you've got your acne, and then that actually goes more bananas than the whole staged one that you did? Are you shocked by what does get traction and what doesn't?
Like I do usually know before I'm about to post something whether it's going to get likes or whether it's not. I know that I literally know if I'm going to post a photo with my dog or with no makeup, they're going to go well, because people love relatability. They're like, oh yeah, I've got a dog too and I love him, and I've got acne as well. I'm dealing with this. But then a lot of like makeup posts, some people are just like, oh yeah, I like this, but I can't do it. Or they just can't relate to it. It's staged and it's posed and it's not great. But then it's also funny because sometimes, if I'm going on a night out and I post a full body pic where I'm so glammed up and it's nothing like I normally am, those pics will go crazy. Like people really like that. So yeah, sometimes it does surprise me, like what gets likes and what doesn't.
So it's kind of
just roll of the dice. You just don't know.
So kind of consistency, being real on your account, and then just kind of changing it up every now and then.
Definitely. I do try to change it up, because if you post too many of the same things, like if I posted too many no makeup selfies, people would get bored and people would think that I was a bit of a martyr, maybe, like, oh, she's trying to garner attention over having acne. So I think changing it up is definitely a big one as well.
Amazing. And so we mentioned you're on YouTube and Instagram, and of course we'll tag all of your handles in our posts. But where can people go to find your stuff on YouTube? Because I'm not a YouTube guru. I don't know how to navigate that world.
If you just type in my name, Maddie Edwards, it should come up. Otherwise, like sometimes if you're like looking for a certain video on Google and an influencer has made that video, like if you type in like Tribe Skincare and a YouTuber's made a video on Tribe Skincare, they might be at the top. But YouTube's a funny one. Like a lot of people just tag their YouTube, have their YouTube link in their description on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. And,
it was really nice.
Picking your brain, all things YouTube, Instagram, and being a little influencer.
Oh, thanks for having me, Cam. It was really nice.
My absolute pleasure. We will speak with you shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode with Maddie Edwards, Instagram and YouTube sensation. If you have loved Maddie's episode today, or you love the community that we are creating at Beauty Industry, make sure you jump onto Facebook, Instagram, What else do we have? LinkedIn. We have our member community profiles on the website, and definitely come to our Beauty Brunchmas event that is happening on the 2nd of December. We are loving all of the traction that you guys are creating for us as a little independent podcast. So share this on your Instagram, on your Facebook, in any which way you can. And you guys know I always truly appreciate all of your help and support to make this industry a better place. Until next time, stay connected. Next week on the podcast for episode 28, we talk with Belinda Hughes, also known as the natural beauty expert, on why she thinks natural beauty in a retail and a professional sense is better for your client's skin. Until next time, stay connected.